All right, what is up, YouTube? This will be my final build for this patch. I'll be playing in the private streamer league from Friday, and I will be probably league starting Blood Mage and then potentially rolling over to Pathfinder again. So this is my final build on my Pathfinder. We are using cold variant of the previous build. So we're still running very similar passive trees, but we've swapped over to cold damage rather than lightning damage. So buffed up, we're getting Frostbolt with 144,000 tooltip. That is actually higher in game. We got to 95% critical hit chance, and we hit close to 200k tooltip on Frostbolt. I will have put some gameplay at the start, so you'll see my rotation with clearing is basically just Frostbolt, and then on any rares or bosses, I'll drop Frostwall, Elemental Weakness, and my Sigil of Power, and also Frostbomb just for exposure. This plays really well, and actually the damage is like, I would say, a major step up from the lightning version. However, it's a bit more expensive and it's a little bit harder gameplay in terms of survivability. Once you start ramping, it's very hard to die, but there is still obviously a chance you will get one shot. From here, I'll just move out of the way of those orbs. So from here, basically we'll go over the skills. So we don't use Unleash, even though it's on our weapon. This is just the best stuff I could craft. I basically, there's a really good guide. I'll link it in the description if you need to craft your own stuff. But this is the best I've come up with. But you definitely want to run the 25% chance for spells to fire 2 additional projectiles. And we're also getting that up to like over 50% with our passive tree. So from here, we've got Sigil of Power with Prolonged Duration 2, Cooldown Recovery 2, and Magnified Area 2. This is our main buff. Like, we pop this, we get a massive DPS increase. So as soon as we get on the boss, as soon as the boss is up, we drop this. We also have Life Remnants with Remnant Potency 1, Harmonic Remnants 2, and Catull's Rejuvenation, which just helps with some cooldown recovery. I don't know if this is even worth having. It's just, yeah, it seems to be helping. So our main spammable is Frostbolt, and we're running Valenthia's Propulsion because we're stacking so much cast speed on this build. It ends up being a lot more cast speed in terms of like projectile speed. As you can see, our balls go really fast, so having Valenthia's Propulsion there just is insanely better than high speed support gem. We're running Deliberation, but as you can see, I've kind of fucked up and not got enough points in there for that. Rapid Casting 2, which this is kind of a flex slot that we'll go over later. Scion's Temper, which just gets us more clear, and we're running Pinpoint Critical because we are a Pathfinder. We don't get the crit from the Blood Mage, but that gets us to a base crit of 90, and then in-game we're buffed up to, like I said, like 97, 98 at times, which is, you'll see in the gameplay, there's so many meteors and comets going off that it's 90 is a good number. We're using Frostbomb for our exposure. So the main thing here is potent exposure, but we're running Overabundance 2, Spell Echo, Cooldown Recovery 2, and Harmonic Remnants. And that's because we want the Fire Remnants because of Cast on Critical. So if we get the Fire Infused Cast on Critical, our comets go up to 165,000, and this could actually be a lot higher. But unfortunately, I have a pretty shitty second weapon right now, which just makes it not very good. So with the front weapon, we got to 331k, but yeah, the back weapon's like only 150k. So for Cast on Critical, we're running Comet, obviously. We're running a corrupted gems for everything except for our spirit gem, just because they're very expensive, and that's kind of my next upgrade. So we're running level 21 gem there, spell cascade, boundless energy, energy retention, and concentrated area, which I've just found spell cascade with concentrated area just increases the damage of comets so much. And then for elemental weakness, we're running prolonged duration, efficiency 2, and magnifying area 2, and that just gets us these really, really big curse areas, just for if we are clearing bosses. And then for our single target DPS, we still use Frostbolt, as you'll see in the gameplay, because it is still very strong damage, but we're actually using Frost Wall, which triggers a shit ton of comets, just because when the wall's damaged, it explodes, and each one of those small explosions can trigger energy forecast on critical. So it becomes a massive, massive DPS, even though the Frost Wall here isn't doing a lot of damage in terms of raw damage. The cast on critical energy that it generates, it rains comets once I'm on a boss and I drop these Frost Walls. So for that, we're using Spell Cascade, which just gives us more walls. We're using Rapid Casting 2, which again is another flex point here. Concentrated Area, which gets more damage. Pinpoint Critical, which gets us higher crit. On this one, we are at 66. So this could be higher, but it's more than enough in-game. That should only be on weapon set 1. There you go. So that's more damage there. 82. So we're at 82 on weapon set 1. And then Cold Exposure, just to get more exposure on critical hits. And then that's pretty much it for our abilities. As you can see, I'm still working on this. I fucked up. I should have had that on just the front bar, but everything else is set up, I think. So let me just double check. Yep, everything else is good. So for our gear, we're running a lot of the same gear as the lightning build. The only difference is our staff on our front bar. And yeah, as I said, I'll go over how I got this staff. I did craft it, but I followed a guide, so I'll link that guide in the description. And then the only other change I've made is I've got a cold damage ring, and then I bought Calandra's Touch just to mirror it, because it was just the easiest way to get cold damage duplicated, because rings are really expensive right now. We are PathFiner, so we have to run the Covenant Outer Robe to get Life Leech. That's not really an option, and you can get one with less max life. This is just, I've upgraded it as I've gone, and then you just want to cap out your resistances there. And then because we are Pathfinder, we need to get Energy Shield from everywhere else, so we're prioritizing Energy Shield on all of our other gear. Critical hit chance here helps. We are running high energy shield and critical hit damage bonus on our gloves. And again, we're just still stacking life. You can see I've still got some dead slots. I don't use mana, but I got mana there. And then our boots are terrible, but what are you going to do? We got one dead slot as well, and pretty low energy shield. We are running the Soul Tether Long Belt, and as I've said a couple of times, you have to run fast metabolism for any mage builds if you're using this belt, because once you get to full life recovery will stop, so the belt is useless without fast recovery on any non-physical damage builds. If you're a physical damage build, you don't need fast metabolism, but yeah, you will need that. So our +3 amulet here with fast metabolism is what matters, and I've just gone crit chance and a little bit of life and energy shield just to help buff that up. Into the passive tree. So the passive tree is a little bit different, and I'll go over some of that. I took some pointers from I'm Just Anthony. He's done some similar stuff, and actually his fire additional projectiles came straight from him. He's genius when it comes to that. I wouldn't have figured that out without it. But yeah, so other than that, we are starting to push into more cast speed. And again, the cast speed stacks for our propulsion on our spammable, so we take as much cast speed as we can. This gets us cast speed with cold skills. This will get us, I'm 96 right now, so I need to get a couple more levels to get up here to get this one. But because of that, we don't need to take all these crit notes. We've we don't take the crit here, which we normally take, and we don't take crit down here, which we normally take. And that just is because we're slotting pinpoint critical, so we don't need it. But that also means we can get all the way down here and take blood magic, and we can get in here and take these spell damage for life skills, which gets us, again, like all of these nodes in here are all really, really good. So it's stacking crit damage, crit speed, crit hit chance, and cast speed. And then from there, we're just kind of optimizing. We've dropped the lightning skills here, obviously, and we're taking some cold here. Again, still not really well optimized, but we are taking elemental equilibrium so that we can get our fire infusions while also putting cold exposure on the enemies. So that's why we take that. And then we're just taking energy shield. So energy shield here, energy shield here. That gets us a good amount of energy shield. And then we're running a couple of things on our back bar, such as exposure, bigger spell area, curses, things like that. And then on our front bar, we're running more crit and the fire projectiles. I just want to go over why I chose PathFiner in the long run, and ultimately ended up down the path of the Blood Mage. And essentially it comes down to two things. The heavy stun, I was dying a lot to the heavy stun, and the movement speed penalty, really, that's it. Like, those are the two core reasons. Unaffected by slows helps. Again, maps clearing, the movement speed, skill speed is kind of a big deal. And then I liked that you could get more passive points because of the fact that you can get the increased attributes. So kind of went over this in my last video, but being able to put these into damage instead of life or int has been a big difference because we go so far around the tree. So we take a lot of damage on these nodes. And that's really core of why I went Pathfinder. I've gone from basically start to level 96 in a couple days, and I couldn't even do that in like the first 2 weeks on my Blood Mage. I think I'm only level 94 or 95 on my Blood Mage. So that shows how much I was dying from the stun and just the low movement speed. So yeah, we're trading a little bit of crit. We're trading the life from the energy shield on the body armor, but we get more survivability in my case. Either way, you don't die that often. So for me, this was the path to take, and I would not suggest this for League Start because it is a little bit squishy down low, and I haven't really done a build on that for that reason. You kind of just have to struggle through it. It's doable, obviously. I did it. I'm not a great player. But yeah, just wanted to go over that quickly. And that's pretty much it. I will have a path of building for this. I've just hit 2k life and 5400 energy shield. So we're getting there. I can optimize my resistances a little bit more here, but that kind of is what it is. I'm pretty much done for this league now. I'm just messing around with the temple and some maps and trying to get to level 99. I don't know that I'm going to get it, but we'll see. Anyway, I've been streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, so the link for all of those will be in the description. And if you like this build, hit the like button. Thank you.